Ducklings, welcome back everyone. Hope you enjoyed that break. I apologize for how long it was, but we now have a series. We have a semifinals for you, and I'm no longer alone. I'm joined by the one, the only, the Chase.
The me. Hello. Am I too loud? Light?
No, it's fine.
Am I perfect? Okay, good. Good. I prepared a lot before this cast, so.
You did.
All right. All right.
But
well,
go on.
No, you go.
I was gonna say
you're the guest. I'm sorry to interrupt you, like.
It's fine.
I'll stop now.
I was gonna say it's been.
I promise I'll stop. I'm really sorry.
you're an animal. It's been too long. It's been almost like half a year or something since we last casted together. So it's great to have you back, and I'm happy to have you here for this ZvZ for the semifinals.
ZvZ, it is indeed. Have you? Why do I hear music? My music's turned off. So whenever I press like the Control M to turn the music off, it just says music enabled.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I know this, but either way, we are here, Light, and we are casting. As Zerg players, we have good taste and all that jazz. We are casting. Oh, we'll do the introduction, I guess. Spawning in the bottom left position. It is the Blue Zerg. Representing. Is it still DP Kazi Gaming?
Yep.
Dark.
Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient System, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. It is RagnaroK. I know it's been a while. I know it's been quite some time, Chase, since we've had the luxury of casting together. But one, it's great to have you back. And have you been able to tune into too much of StarCraft recently, or you know, what have you been up to? Catch us up, Bobby. Catch us up.
Right, I've disabled the sounds and I can't turn the music off. It's a disaster.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's literally just saying the sound disabled. Have they changed? I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh my god. Look at spawning pool placement. You know what that makes me think of, like?
What does it make you think of?
It makes me think of a very clever couple of Zerg players whose name rhymed with Ace and Fander Bear Hui, who designed the way they stopped a drone pool.
What, you came up with it?
I certainly did. And then Cyril did it in some tournament and didn't work, and he got caught as silver. But yes, I've been good. Like, thank you for asking. I haven't watched too much. I feel like the meta, there hasn't been a lot of balance changes, so I assume there isn't too much craziness going on. But the meta, strategies come into the foreplay, and then they get countered when they become the standard by either greedy or cheesier play. So yeah, I'm sure, even though I haven't cast for a little while, even though the game's a little bit older, it won't be stable at all.
Yeah. I will say that ZvZ, or the mirror matchups, they are the matchups that change the least over time, but there have been a lot of changes in ZvT and ZvP, so hopefully we can get into that, especially when we get to the grand finals. But for now, everything is as it always was. Hatch gas pool from our two Zerg players, nothing too crazy. I think last time you were active, there was like the +1 carapace, like Roach Ling all in, that was kind of all the craze, but that has kind of fallen off in the current times.
Yeah, I do remember that actually. That was interesting. They just got the carapace and just attack, right?
Yeah.
And it would work. Oh my god. Zerg players are so innovative, like. But here we go. Oh my god, Dark seeing a lot of lings by RagnaroK. He boom. Yeah, he's gonna have to be aggressive here, because when you make this many lings, you'll be, a bit, behind economically, as we see a lot more drones about to finish up for Dark. But Dark has already got a few units out himself, so. Actually, there's nothing going on. Passive.
Yeah. For the most part, they've made a couple of units here to be defensive. Some Lings, some Banelings. Both players are taking up into their Roach Warrens, into their Evo Chambers as well. Dark did have a hidden Roach Warren behind his mineral line. RagnaroK is just a part of his wall. So both players are kind of taking up in similar directions. RagnaroK is the first player, though, to invest quite heavily into these Roaches.
Yeah, and these players are really good, even though there's like it's going to be a bit harder for RagnaroK to actually, for Dark to scout RagnaroK, because he does have the wall off at the front and the hidden Roach Warren, which RagnaroK does scout. But both players just playing pretty standard, Lair coming down for Dark. No Lair yet for Mr. RagnaroK, and he's actually got quite a few units he's moving out with here now.
Yeah, we've got a decent amount of roaches. We have 8 roaches in total. Dark does see this coming ahead of time with this overlord placement, and he does have roaches of his own on the way. A spine crawler as well. Dark taking this very seriously. RagnaroK, it looks like, I don't know if he's really going to commit. He is droning behind this, and he is getting into that bit of a later lair instead.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a bit of a push just to dictate the play, keep Dark honest, let him know that, hey, I have units, so don't do anything shifty. Nice little Link Scout pops in and sees the 2 gases at the natural, but that's not a huge tell really. It just kind of says that it's not going to be, a kind of 2-base push himself from Dark, but we have a Spire going down like... Do you know what happens when players drop Spires?
Oh, Broodlords.
Ultralords. The units, they grow wing. I mean, Zerglings already have wings, I guess, so maybe it's not true, but yeah. This is a bit of a gamble by Dark, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a good way to take advantage of his fast lair. He does have that quite over his opponents, so he can make use of his tech. It is definitely a gamble, though, because RagnaroK, if he does come across this, he can prepare back at home, but for the time being, he hasn't seen that Spire.
No, he has not, but it's in quite a peculiar position as well. The cool thing about this spy positioning is if RagnaroK does scout, he's going to try and dart into the main, because obviously that's the most easiest kind of common spot to drop a spy or some tech, because you're going to get through 2 bases worth of units. So his links pop into the 3rd, that will get pushed away. Does see 2 gases at the 3rd base actually, but again, at this stage of the game, it's nothing too crazy. And we have a spire also dropped here by RagnaroK, so we're going to have some Universe Muta, but Darks are going to be a lot faster.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have that lead in the Muta count overall. He's going to have that lead and that map control as both players are going for their 4th bases. And then we go 8 Mutas are now in production for Dark. Overseer is diving into the main. As you mentioned before, the Spire is successfully hidden for now, but the Overseer should head towards the natural as well.
Yeah, it is, and it's probably going to... No, he's going to see the Spire, and how RagnaroK's going to react is a little bit interesting. He's got these Lings at the 3rd base, in case he wants to send in some Banes later on. But, if it's Muta versus Muta, you kind of want all the gas you can get. And he might even go for some Corruptors here, since he's, he's got a healthy Roach count.
True, like he knows that he's behind in the overall Muta count, so it may be wiser to go for Corruptors instead. The Mutas have already hit the field. They're hunting down Overlords in the center of the map, supply blocking RagnaroK, and there it is, Corruptors are on the way.
Oh my god, like I'm so smart. It's almost like I played this race for like 14 years. How long has it been now? 13 years?
it's
oh my days.
Been a long time, Fab. It's
been
a long
too
time.
Long. I'm going senile. Actually, in my day, Corruptors had a contamination spell.
True.
Yeah, Overlord speed for Mr. RagnaroK. I keep saying that he boom, and I keep thinking throws me off. But yeah, Corruptor's now shown. Now what's Dark going to do is he's going to commit heavy on the Mutas here and try and go for a mass economy you can tank. Because Corruptors, they're really good at, actually tanking, but as a harassment kind of unit, as a unit to kind of stop harassment as well, they're not too great. So it looks like he might just commit to the Overlords here instead.
Well, what's scary is Dark has a massive Roach army. If you look at the units tab, Dark has 42 Roaches to the 27 of his opponents. So Dark hard switching into a ground army, and RagnaroK may be overcommitting to these Corruptors. He's got 7 more Corruptors on the way. They're not going to help at all against these Roaches.
Yeah, no, certainly not. It is a bit scary. There's actually not many Mutas here invested by Dark. There's a couple more than, I guess you might normally get. You might get like 7, but looks like he's been up to about 10, 9 or 10. And here comes Dark on the base now, and RagnaroK's been out of position. He doesn't have... No, does Roach speed.
Does have Roach speed, but he doesn't have the Roach count, as his base is gonna be going down. Good connection into that mineral line. 9 drones do fall as well, and RagnaroK, he was caught with his pants down. He's got 14 Roaches on the way. We'll see if Dark can get any more damage with this army.
Yeah, no, and GG is called. He was supply blocked. There was no Ravagers. He couldn't help his defensive advantage, and Dark takes game number 1.
GG, well played. Again, a bit of an overreaction out of RagnaroK, and also a lack of scouting. I mean, that's the added advantage of the Mutas, right? They shut down all the Overlords. They just keep your opponents in the dark, and RagnaroK wasn't quite sure of what Dark was up to.
Certainly not at all. I'm just going to quickly restart. That's okay. But yeah, and just that second wave. I mean, Corruptors are pretty expensive. They got a lot more hit points than Mutas, but they're still 100 gas each. It's a bit spooky. But yeah, we're going to be getting to game number 2. I'm just restarting. I'll be 1 second.
Okay.
Is this a bad time to tell you that I've blue screened like 3 times in the past 4 hours? I'm back. Let me in. Invite me.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, I still have no sound. This is so weird.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. It says music disabled, but there's still music.
Look, it just really wants you to listen
There we
to the
go.
StarCraft soundtrack, okay? It's good
It really
stuff.
does.
Yeah.
It's being forced upon us. That's okay, Light. I'm ready to roll. We are coming game number 2 on altitude. I'm glad the maps haven't changed because I still don't. You know what the maps are when you see them, but I don't remember the map names.
Fair.
I mean, it's kind of easy like this in front of a loading screen where it has the name there, but
yeah. I understand, but we're diving back in. As you mentioned, we've had this map pool for quite some time. Hopefully not too much longer. We did have the TLMC map contest a month ago, so hopefully some new maps soon as we get into game 2.
Game 2 indeed, and spawning in the bottom left position, it is your Zerg player from South Korea, representing DKZ Gaming. Thanks, Liquipedia. It is Dark.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of altitude, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. Down in the series, it is RagnaroK.
Alright, like, no more funny business. We got a base down for RagnaroK first. Dark's is like 1 second behind.
It's over.
Yeah, I mean, it means the Queen's 1 second behind. The first inject's 1 second behind. Means the second Queen's 1 second behind as well.
Yeah, and
that's if you're being sharp too. That's if you're on your timings after that.
Add all that. That's like 30 seconds. He's basically a minute behind, and what's he gonna do?
Oh my god, what is he gonna do indeed? I'll tell you, he's gonna throw in a spawning pool and a gas geyser. Very kind of standard here. Except for being a second behind.
True. Yeah, hatch gas pool from both players, as you were saying, so no kind of crazy openers, and we don't really expect like a fast pool or a fast gas on a map like altitude. Again, it's a very large map, the largest map that we have in the map pool. Not a bad map for mutas, but I don't know if we're going to go for that kind of style again after flaunting it in game 1.
Yeah, and this is a little interesting as well. Like, RagnaroK just kind of let his second Overlord float outside the natural for a little bit before sending it across. He might look like the Overlords are going to cross past, but it's actually a little bit further back. So maybe just a little mind game. It's a really large map. Maybe a 12 pool's not the best idea, but at this this level of play, the meta is so kind of convoluted. There's so much you can kind of do regardless of the map because of the way players play. But no, it's both just a standard game so far.
Yeah, so far so good. As you were saying, RagnaroK just going for some mind games earlier, but the Overlord is revealed and the Lings are now moving out. We should be headed towards a third base location from here, so yeah, should be some standard openers at least, but it's from here, from this third base location, where we'll see if we have an aggressor, right? We can of course flood Lings across the map, deny the third, or even go into faster roaches.
You certainly can, and given the third bases on this map, they're pretty reasonable. There's ramps or chokes you can kind of hold on to. Pretty fast scout here by RagnaroK. Seeing the third base lets him know, and seeing it's the same timing as his own third base, he can compare it to his own build. This Overlord is a little bit exposed by Dark, however. For the most part, both players will feel comfortable going into the early mid-game knowing they're both doing the same stuff.
Exactly. Mirrored build so far in the mirror matchup. No one is skipping their Baneliness either. It is a corner that you can at times cut, but it can also be punished. But again, neither one is opting to go for that, as RagnaroK is the first to make a decent amount of Lings here.
Yeah, he certainly is. A couple more Lings being added on. Looks like, a couple of Lings on the map already too later. Dark's gonna get his own up. Oh my, wait, I need to get your camera. Oh, it's Chicken Man's camera. It's better than yours, like. Creep tumor. Is that what you're looking at?
I'm looking at the faster roach one.
Oh, that's a roach warren. I thought it was a Evo chain, but they look the same. Yeah, that is a pretty fast roach warren, actually, isn't it? Oh,
yeah. So
he's sticking in 3 in gas too.
Yeah, we do have some more in gas. We'll see how aggressive RagnaroK is going to be. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark just setting up here defensively with his Lings, with his Banelings, just droning up quite happily. And thankfully, Dark doesn't have too much of a later Roach Warren, as his is thrown down behind his mineral line.
Yeah, it looks like he favors putting stuff behind the mineral line. You know, a little bit safe, a little bit less exposed as well, less chance of losing it. There is the Evo Chamber now thrown down by Dark, but it looks like there's no Evo Chamber here for RagnaroK, and this kind of tells me he is playing to be quite aggressive right now.
Oh my god, as he does take a Baneling to the face. Dark rocking up at this third is going to get us around on the Queen at least, maybe even the base itself. Good target firing, the Baneling does go down.
Yeah, and sniping that Queen's actually great. He's going to see his roaches being pushed out now too. That's like a third worth of injects that are not going to be going into Lings here. And RagnaroK's already behind on the tech and upgrades, so he's going to be forced to attack here. But his attack's going to be a lot less potent now.
Yeah, exactly. So far, the roaches are being kept at bay, but RagnaroK, he cut workers a little bit early on. He's still droning though, so it looks like he isn't going for a massive, big counter attack. He's just trying to secure himself here with these roaches back at home.
Yeah, I'm not much of a fan. He's going the lair. I kind of feel like he might go into maybe Mutas off this. But he's already behind on the upgrade. It could be a good timing here for Dark, since RagnaroK did make those units earlier, so his drone count's going to be a little bit behind. There's 7 more drones about to pop out. But yeah, this is looking good for Dark so far.
Yeah, it really is, right? He's ahead in the upgrades, he's ahead in the lair timing as well. The lair is about to finish up. If Dark wanted to, he could be the first player to go into Mutas as well. And RagnaroK, without that Evo Chamber, it would make sense for him to go into Aspire, right?
Yeah, definitely. And that was a perfect scout for RagnaroK. He saw when the lair actually pops, so he can compare it to his own. It looks like Roach Speed is going to be the follow-up, which makes sense given he's got +1 missile as well. Some players would cancel that, but we'll see RagnaroK now throwing down 2 extra gases. He's now got 6 in total. Is he going to go Spire? But Dark's attack's going to hit before Spire does finish.
Yeah, that's the problem, and there it is. The Spire is thrown down. Is going to try to go into those Mutas, but the Roaches are already in production for Dark. +1 and Roach Speed are going to hit first, and we'll see if RagnaroK can somehow hold on and survive long enough to actually make use of his Mutas.
Yeah, we got 5 gases as well for Dark, so that kind of tells us he's going to commit very heavy, going to invest everything he has, and just going to overwhelming Roach count. Oh, I think that Overlord is going to get taken out, unfortunately. 4th base is going to get scouted, being taken by Dark as well, so he's going to be pretty comfortable going for a push. And I think I think this could be a pretty devastating push coming from Dark. Look at the supply, Light.
Oh yeah, the soup does not lie. We are up to 90 army supply. That is 30 roaches. Dark has double the roach count of his opponents. Very reminiscent of the last game. Very similar situation in game number 1 as well when it comes to the ground army, and RagnaroK is in a lot of trouble back at home. No spine crawlers, no stack defense.
I'll tell you what else there isn't, Light. There's no Ravagers. There's no Mutas. And this is actually the perfect time. I think this might just end the game. Like, what do? You bank up the Mutas, and then you got to make all these late roaches, and it's too late. GG is cold and Dark. Oh my days. He wins, Light. He wins again.
GG, well played. Dark is one of the best Zerg players in South Korea. He takes down RagnaroK 2-0 without too much issue, to be honest. A pretty powerful performance out of Dark.
Certainly is. Like, he's a pretty good player. I'll give him that. You know, that's high praise coming from me.
Yeah,
he doesn't know I exist, but
coming from the guy that made the spawning pool defense. The 12 pool.
It certainly is. Oh, see, people like you prop me up. But yeah, that's 2-0, right? That was a best of 3?
Yeah, it was a best of 3. GG. Dark, he advances on to the grand finals. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, as Dark is going to be waiting for the winner of Classic versus Gumiho.
Oh, that means we could have a TVZ or ZVP, right? Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. What would you want to cast? What are you looking forward to? What are you craving after being away from Starcraft?
I want to cast them both playing random. No, I'm not sure. ZVT is always very exciting, as we saw at Gamers 8. Reina was really fun to watch. But I know nothing about ZVP at the moment. People tell me you just make any unit and attack, but
true.
Well, I'm keen for anything, yeah.
So you did watch Gamers 8 then?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did
you probably know why.
Did you
Yeah.
tune into too much of it, or just like the final day, or what caught your eye?
Most of it, I think.
Oh.
The champions tournament was pretty cool. Yeah, seeing MVP play again.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was really. I didn't realize that he was really good actually.
Yeah. MVP was there, MMA, MC, Stefano. It was really cool to see everyone returning after such a long hiatus. Really cool to see. Really nostalgic.
And Stefano versus MC. Oh, that was a throwback. But yes, Light. We were in the present day, and it's going to be either Gumio or Clyde. And Gumio's been playing pretty well lately, we must say.
Oh yeah. He's very underrated at the moment. Just because it's hard to stand out as a Terran player in Korea. There are just so many good Terrans. You know, there's Maru, there's Byeon, there's Kyor, but Gumiho, he's the most recent runner-up in ESL Masters Summer, second only to Serral. And Gumiho, yeah, he's a pretty dangerous opponent just because of how creative and how unorthodox he is.
Certainly, and he has a little tower, which is cool. I like when players have quirks like they make you all the players out there that have a little towel as well. They can all relate to him.
Yeah, Gumiho has got the towel. Flash, he's got the ruler. You know, it's iconic.
Rayna's got the hat. I don't know. I feel like he's always wearing a hat when he plays. But,
I feel like Rayner, he's known as like the rap god because he's always like listening to like rap music when he's
playing.
Yeah,
he always like hypes himself up. Yeah, that's when you know he's in the zone. But